Hi guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk about things that make your home instantly cool. This video is inspired by Lainey Ozark's video, things that make you instantly stylish or something like that. I will have it here. She's a fashion YouTuber. I do interior design, but I like the idea and I thought it was cool and I thought I could talk about some fun interior design things. So yeah, I'm just going to go through a bunch of things that I think make your home instantly cool. Like, I think if you have these things, I'm like, okay, this is a cool person. They have style, you know? And I'm not saying that if you don't have these things, your house is not cool, but I am saying that if you do have these things, your house is cool. So, yeah, I don't make the rules. Let's get into it. The first one is when you pick an unusual color or like a fun color for something that could very easily be a neutral, because to me this just shows that like you've put in a little extra thought to something. For example, curtains are one of those things that you can have neutral curtains and it's like easy and it will look good. I have neutral curtains, but I think that if you've like put in thought to pick a fun color for something like that could look good without it being a fun color, but you just put in the effort to like choose a fun color, to me that is like you have style. I also think that if you like choose a fun color for anything that's kind of permanent in your home or like semi-permanent, like I think the girl that inspired Lainey Ozark's video, she was talking about how like when you make semi-permanent style choices, any semi-permanent fashion choice, like your hair color or your glasses, that shows her that you have like style in fashion. And I feel the same way about interior design. Like if you have a fun colored couch or any of those like bigger items that you're not changing out as much, and it's like a fun color or pattern, or it's just like a very out there style, I immediately think your house is cool. The second one is kind of a little bit, I'm just gonna say it because I'm just gonna say it. When you know when to have a neutral, or like when you make intentional decisions about something not being a color, if that makes sense. And I'm going to put a picture of Dakota Johnson's house because I love her house so much, like her 80 home tour. She has this really amazing mohair velvet couch, and it's like this very neutral, like champagne kind of color. You can see the color of the couch. But I think that she has like a lot of neutrals in her house, but she also knows where the color needs to be. And I think that if you are making like the bold decision of choosing something neutral because you know that like your house is so cool that you can have a neutral and it's still cool. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think it's a power move. And I just love that couch, and it's not a boring neutral, like it's such a fun color. Yeah, I don't really know where I'm going with this point. I'm mostly just obsessed with this couch and I think it's cool. So, but I think what I'm trying to say is like it's not about like having the color or not having color. It's just about like the thought and the intention behind those decisions. And if you have clearly put in the thought and the intention behind those decisions and it's working out in the design, that shows that you have style and that your house is cool. When you lean into the awkward parts of your space. So what I'm talking about is like when you have like a very awkward architectural details or like weird little nooks or like weird walls or something weird going on in like the architecture of your space, and you have used that feature to add to your design rather than trying to ignore it or hide it in a weird way. I always think that that shows me that you have style, and I think your house is cool because it's showing that you can like come up with original ideas or like unique ideas in your home. It has a very unique effect on your space and gives you like unique interior design when you lean into those things rather than trying to hide them. And I also always think just in general with interior design, like you never want to be trying to make something look like it's not what it is. Like you should always be leaning into the challenging parts about a design project, and I kind of was like making that point in my very first video where I was talking about like my approach to designing modern apartments. But it's like along the same lines of that. It's like we're not trying to pretend it's something that it's not, because I think once you start pretending something is something that it's not, I'm literally confusing myself right now, but you know what I mean. I think you can just always tell, and then it's weird because it's like you're trying to hide it, but it's still there, you know? I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm calling the next one when you commit to the bit. When you go all in on a design choice, for instance, doing like a monochromatic moment, or like mixing patterns, or doing like a full situation of patterns that like maybe match. I don't know. I think of like this picture, like the wallpaper and the lamp. It's like you have patterns going on there, like two different kinds of stripes. I think that's cool. Or like this picture of like having a monochromatic moment. Like if you've just made a very intentional design decision and you've like committed to it and you've just gone like all in on it, I think it's cool. When you have very clearly put thought into details in your home that are usually kind of forgotten details in the design, for instance, your door handles or your light switches or your faucets or your baseboards or your vents, like all that kind of stuff that can very easily just become a standard decision if you've taken the time to think about those details and like select those details in your home and it's like makes sense with the design. I am gonna think you're cool and your house is cool. If you've done something that goes against design rules, interior designers have kind of collectively agreed generally on like certain design rules, and they can be helpful guides, I guess. But I think that if you have strayed away from those rules and you've done it well, I think you're cool. And I think it's because it just shows that like you understand the principles behind why those rules are made, and you're not following the rules, but you're following like the design and art principles that are behind that, if that makes sense. Because designers, like the really good ones, are not following the rules. Like that's not what they're thinking about. What they're thinking about is like the principles of design. Those are the criteria that are running through their head, not like the list of rules that designers have like given to people to make designing their space easier. So things like the distance of your coffee table to your couch, or like the size that your rug needs to be based on your couch or your bed, or like the placement of rugs, like all those kinds of rules that we have. If you've done it well and you've done something cool that's against those rules, I think your house is cool, and I think you're cool for doing that. This one is more like in architecture, I guess, but if you have any sort of like indoor-outdoor situation going on, so like big doors that open up, big windows that open up, a courtyard, literally anything like that where something opens up and you cannot tell if you're inside or outside, I love that so much. I think it's so cool. Like I'm just obsessed with it. Like I don't even know what else to say about it. Like there's something about a courtyard that just like it's so fun. Like I'm sorry you have the outside in the middle of your house. That's really cool. I'm jealous. Yeah, I don't have much more to say about that. I'll put lots of pictures, but I think we can all agree that it's cool. When you mix different styles together, I think we kind of all know that like mixing styles is a good thing because it means that you are developing your own style and you're not like following popular styles, I guess. I think that it's important for developing your own style, and I think that it shows like that you have come up with original ideas in your home when you mix styles. I don't even know what else to say about that. Mixing styles is the key, because if you have too much of something, it's not personal and it just kind of looks like you've shopped and you haven't designed. When you have off-centered or unique art placement, or even just unique framing, maybe those are two separate things. Yeah, if you just have art in like a weird spot in your house, I think you're cool. Like, I don't know, I love that. I immediately clock that if someone has art in a weird spot, and I'm like, okay, this person has style. And then also if you have unique frames or like a unique framing situation, that's always cool. I'm just gonna put a bunch of pictures, but I also think that this like framing, specifically like this where you take like a small picture and you have like a really big mat and then you like put it to the side or even in the middle. But it's just like a fun way to have some very affordable art because it's a lot easier to get your hands on like a small picture or something like that and make it more interesting through the framing and the matting and like all that than to just find cool art. I wouldn't do this to every single piece in your home. I do think that it is a fun way to get a few pieces very easily. And like if you have little small like family things that you want to display in your home, this is a fun way to do that, to just bring a little more interest to it. If you've painted your floor or stairs a really fun color, I think that's always so cool. I think this is a really good way to salvage some old wood floors if you're not able to like salvage them enough for them to be stained, or if that's just not in your budget, but you want to keep them. So you paint them a fun color. That's always really fun. I love it. I think it's just a fun way to like bring a pop of color into your house. Yeah, and I guess this kind of goes with the idea of making like a semi-permanent bold decision in your home. It just shows that you have style. If you have good lighting, and I don't even necessarily mean like having cool lamps or cool light fixtures. I just mean like having good lighting as in like the placement and I guess the tone of your lighting. So not super bright whites, but you know, good lighting. This is, I think, one of the most important parts about interior design because you don't even have to have like cool furniture or really anything else, but having good lighting immediately changes the feeling of your space and makes it look so much cooler. So I think if you can't do anything to change your space, but you can change your lighting, that's where I would start. Like it just changes the feeling of a space so much. It just creates a little mood, and it's always cool if you have good lighting. Yeah, that's everything. I think there's a lot of things that can make your home cool, but these are just the things I was able to list. Yeah, let me know if you have any other things that are like on your list of if someone has that, you think their house is immediately cool, because I want to know. So tell me in the comments. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!